battle was a furious one. As soon as we broke into the castle, that mysterious castle which we had never seen before, I knew something was wrong. Enchanted furniture and dishware began to attack us from all angles, the result of some dark sorcery I had never encountered in my life. As proud as I am of my achievements, I have to admit that I could not have faced this alone. I knocked my bow and let the mob take on the furniture, keeping my eyes set out on the one foe that truly mattered to me, the beast. I began to prowl the castle, searching for my dreaded adversary. To say that I wasn't fearful would be a lie, but at the same time, a tinge of excitement surged in my chest. I was on the hunt. We had left my love and her father locked up back in the town. My choice in doing so rooted in the fact that, once again, I wanted to keep them safe. They might both be insane, sure, but they were still my townspeople, and if I had to be honest, I still had an underlying hope that I would be able to win her over eventually, nurse her back to health even if I had to do it myself. But for now, she was too emotionally involved. Her affection for the beast would get in the way of things, and I didn't want to place her in harm's way. It's what had to be done. And then I saw him. At last I had kicked open a door to see a giant, brown-furred animal sitting in a chair amidst the waning moonlight, easily 10 feet tall with shoulders 5 feet wide. He turned to me calmly and looked away without a second glance, underestimating the threat that I posed. He would not make the same mistake again. I released my arrow, and it caught him in the shoulder with the satisfying sound of tearing flesh. He screamed in agony, and I used the moment of surprise to push him out the window, where he landed out on the rain-soaked balcony. I kicked him over the side of the balcony onto a ledge below and then jumped down after him, happy at how easily the mighty was falling. I had expected more of a fight, but my people would be safe in no time. Get up! Get up! What's the matter, beast? Too kind and gentle to fight back? I ripped a jagged spike off the rooftop and raised it like a club to bring down on the beast once and for all. But then a voice called down from below. No! The sound of my love's voice froze me, and terror flooded me as I realized that she had escaped her temporary prison. She called out her protests, but this fueled me all the more, realizing that I had to kill the beast even quicker, if only to prevent her from being placed in harm's way. I brought the spike down, but the beast caught it. The furry monster that up until now had been peaceful and cooperative in his death now raised to his feet, and I found myself face to face with what surely was the most terrifying being I had ever faced in hand-to-hand combat. Lightning strikes and thunder roared as the monster and I exchanged blows, and motivation recycled its way through my mind as we bound and tarried through the slippery rooftops of the rain-soaked castle. I thought of my beloved and my need to protect her. I thought of glory and all that could be achieved. Thought of all those people below and back home, who trusted me to protect them above all else. And so we fought. Were you in love with her, beast? Did you honestly think she'd want you when she had someone like me? I didn't know whether or not the monstrous thing could understand my words, but I had to try. I needed answers. I needed to know. But he said nothing. Instead, we exchanged blow after blow, until at last I had him cornered with nowhere left to run. I raised my makeshift club and smiled. It's over, beast. She is mine. I knew this wasn't necessarily true, but I said it as motivation for myself, if anything. However, this seemed to provoke the beast even more, because he picked me up by the neck before I could prevent it and hung me out, dangling over the far expanse below. For the first time in my life, true, utter terror overcame me, and I, the manliest man of all men, became a coward. I am not proud of what I said next, but I plead for my life. I plead dearly, making promises that I never would have thought myself to make when faced with death. But it was not my fear of death that bid me be a coward. It was my fear of being away from my love forever. I could not die now, not yet, not until things were right. And so I plead like a schoolboy again, pandering to this monstrous beast to let me go on living. And then the beast placed me on solid ground. Get out, he growled. I can't explain the thoughts that consumed me in the next few moments, but they are the starkest of my memory. First, his 2 words, get out, showed me that he was more than a mere animal, and the fact that a human being could be so vile took away all sympathy I had for him sparing my life. Second, I heard her voice calling out, beast. Apparently even she saw him as only that, and I realized that somehow she had attained roof access as well. Third, I saw the beast crawling towards her, scaling the roof in a direct line towards the only woman I had ever truly loved. Fourth, I found myself rising to my feet, jumping onto the beast's back and planting my knife in his side, a smile of victory on my face as I knew, at last, that I would be able to keep my village safe. But then, fifth, I find my grip on the beast's cloak falter, and though I fought and fought to right myself, I could not. I found myself falling to the depths, down hundreds and hundreds of feet of air, a shriek emitting from my mouth as my failures flashed before my eyes. I saw Belle, the most beautiful woman in the world, and the rejection I had faced thanks to her misunderstanding and my miscommunication. I saw Maurice, the old man who had thought me cruel for not believing him when he asked for help rescuing his daughter. I saw the townspeople, who had all trusted me to protect them and had willingly followed me into battle against this monstrous being. And I saw the beast, the monster who had kidnapped both my future father-in-law and the love of my life, only to seduce them into thinking that he was kind and gentle. All these things, all these failures, I saw as I, Gaston, the once hero of my quiet little village, plummeted through the depths, sinking lower and lower at ever-increasing speeds, the water below growing closer and closer as the chilled air pressed against my skin. And then I saw no more.